What's good, everybody? It is your boy Tony the Savant back again. Hope everybody's having a good to great day, man. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're pulling up to the video. I just want to take a short minute, y'all, and plug my t-shirt line that I'll be launching very soon here. Legacy Over Money. LOMsportswear.com will be the website. I'm working on it as we speak, but I just wanted to get you all familiar, drop that plug in because definitely been getting a lot of love and support, but something that I've been passionate about is t-shirt designs and just doing my own little thing. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. Just if you want to support the channel, support the kid, I definitely would be humbled by that. But it's a venture that I've been wanting to do for a while, so finally getting a little time to do it. Legacy Over Money, LOMsportswear.com. T-shirts will be dropping soon. All right, let's get right into the content. Because you may or may not notice this gentleman that's in the visual, Christopher Copeland. Now, Christopher Copeland is a former NBA player, as you can see. Once played for the Knicks, the Milwaukee Bucks, I believe another team or two. But Chris, nonetheless, was a NBA journeyman in his time as a professional basketball player. Nothing about his game or his numbers, jumped off the page to me. I do recall seeing Chris play from time to time when I was like watching the NBA die hardly all day, every day. He was in that. I recall seeing him during that era when I was in sports watching. But nonetheless, nowadays, Chris Copeland finds himself popping up from time to time on one of my favorite YouTubers' channels. You may know the gentleman. His name is Ticket TV. Covers NBA for the most part, NBA content. Ticket used to be a professional player as well, not in the NBA, but overseas, and has done his thing. So I believe that's how he knows Chris Copeland. But I've been watching Ticket for about 2 years now, and like I said, from time to time you'll see Chris Copeland come up on the channel and share his basketball thoughts on whatever's going on at the time. I was not aware that Chris Copeland was a bronzexual, though, y'all. I did not know this. Perhaps he stated this before, but I did not notice this until yesterday morning. I'm watching Ticket TV's morning show. Chris happens to be up on the show, and they're discussing the Giannis Antetokounmpo. No, not just Giannis, but they're talking about the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Indiana Pacers game that happened the other night. And it was going on and on about, this brewing beef between the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks, which I agree that those two teams have had a rivalry, but it's definitely been reheating up as of lately with the current or the past events that's transpired. But nonetheless, that's not the meat and potatoes. They begin to talk about Giannis. And I was not aware of this, but earlier in Giannis's career, Chris Copeland had the pleasure of playing with him. And so Chris Copeland was giving some insight to Giannis's personality, his work ethic, how he is, blah, blah, blah. And I commend Chris for being honest and transparent. But he didn't really tell us nothing that we already didn't know about Giannis, as far as him just being a hardworking guy, a humble dude. Giannis pretty much wears that part of his personality on his sleeves. But then he goes on, and I don't know how these two got on to LeBron James. But Chris Copeland goes on to say that LeBron James is his GOAT. 39 years old, y'all. That's how old Chris Copeland is. And he says that LeBron James is his GOAT. His reason why, you won't believe this, but if you've had a conversation with a bronzexual, you've heard this silly explanation these silly explanations as to why LeBron James is the GOAT. The first reason he says LeBron James is the GOAT gives no analytics, no real insight. This is a former NBA player, y'all. All right. A former NBA player says that LeBron James is his GOAT, number one, because he played against him. That's it. That's the reason. Uh, I don't know if he. I mean, I think he went a little bit more into Nah, I don't recall him going into any details. Like, yeah, it was just one time LeBron James just went off for 60. He didn't tell those kind of stories like Iman Shumpert told about Steph Curry. He didn't tell a story like that as to why LeBron James is his GOAT. He just simply said, flat, take it at surface level, LeBron James is his GOAT because he played against him. And I commend Ticket for pushing back and challenging him and asking him, well, hey, didn't you play against Kobe? And this guy says, yes, I did play against Kobe. And, that's how he left it. He didn't play against Kobe very long, apparently, but nonetheless, this was his logic and his reasoning. Ticket continues on to, kind of push back and asks and tells Chris, well, you may be alone in this assessment, but most people have Kobe over LeBron. I'm one of those people, me personally, Tony the Savant, and Ticket has Kobe ranked over LeBron as well. And I say rightfully so. This man, Chris Copeland, goes on to say that the reason why LeBron James is his GOAT, because he tried to go a little bit more into to his basketball guru in this, I guess. He's trying to explain what you can't do. You cannot explain why LeBron James is the GOAT without sounding like you capping. That's the tragic part. And most of these LeBron James fans don't get that. Is that when you try to explain why LeBron James is the GOAT, you're going to sound like you're capping. But anyway, he goes on to say that LeBron James is his GOAT because he is a better version. Kobe Bryant was just another version of Michael Jordan, is I believe what he said. But then he says that LeBron James is a better version of Michael Jordan somehow, some way, with 6 losses in the finals, multiple meltdowns over his career. To this day, right now, Michael Jordan has more offensive rebounds than LeBron James. How? In 15 years of NBA play, Michael Jordan was able to accumulate more offensive rebounds than the 6'10", 280-pound locomotive freight train that everybody likes to say about him. But yeah, he goes on to say that LeBron James was a better version of Michael Jordan, more or less, by comparing them to he compared Michael Jordan to a slingshot, and then LeBron James to some kind of new modernized technologicalized weapon. All this cap. Like I say, when you start talking about LeBron James as far as why he is your GOAT and why he is this, that, and the third, you're gonna start sounding like you're capping, and it's just no helping around it. But yeah, that's what happened. I commend Ticket TV for being able to establish an NBA connect and all that kind of stuff. But this is where my qualm comes in, because a lot of these dudes get on their phones or on these podcasts and all that stuff, and they try to justify their NBA opinions or sports opinions by saying, I used to play in the NBA, or I used to play in the NFL, or I used to do this, that, and the third. But then when they start talking about the sport, you find very fast that these dudes have very little to no real input. It's crazy. Because yes, you know what I mean? You are a former NBA player, but me as a fan, me as a guy that only played collegiate basketball for 2 years, not even my entire college career, I got that far with basketball, and I gotta say that I was able to take things and lessons from the game that I can apply when I'm watching the game. For instance, when somebody's out there giving their all, and you really could tell somebody's taking over the game, we acknowledge that. We called that greatness. That's why we loved Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, because when it got to those contentious points in the game, those guys allowed their skill sets to elevate their play, elevate their teams, and sometimes, most times, seal a victory. And then you don't need to have played any NBA minutes to notice when somebody's doing that and acknowledge, hey, that's a great feat. That's a great feature to have, a great trait in your personality to even have. You don't need to have any NBA experience to be able to say that, hey, this other guy who's good, but he's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. You don't need any NBA minutes on your resume to say that. And I'm saying all this to say is that the whole narrative of, oh, we have to respect this guy's opinion or that guy's opinion because he used to play in the NBA or he used to play in the NFL. That's cap to me. Because I listened to Gilbert Arenas' podcast. I listened to this dude talk, and at one point I used to respect Gilbert Arenas. But it seems to me that Gil is on a cap mission. He is on a pure go viral mission because this dude says whatever. But he'll also be one of those dudes to say, I know about the game, blah, 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 because I used to play in the game. I played against Kobe. I went toe to toe with T-Mac, all these guys. I think that's cap. And I think that we need to really destroy that narrative because it's not that I have anything against former players. A lot of former players I love listening to. You know what I mean? I can't stand Richard Jefferson when he's talking about LeBron James, but when he's talking about basketball in general, he's usually on point. You know what I mean? Richard Jefferson's one of those kind of LeBron fans. Kevin Garnett was a guy that I used to enjoy watching, used to enjoy his content, but now he's on some kind of cap for LeBron mission and is destroying his credibility every time he talks. So much so, this dude went at Paul Pierce, for in defense of LeBron James. For years, Kevin Garnett hated LeBron James and stood on that. And now all of a sudden, I guess I don't know what's going on. I don't want to speak on the situation, but my speculation is the money is low and Clutch Sports is paying. My speculation is he's just doing it for the dollar. With like a lot of these dudes, Clutch Sports has people in the media, y'all. This is on public record. Nick Wright has said that he is signed to Clutch Sports, LeBron James' sports agency. There's no bigger conflict of interest than that. But that's why I say a lot of these dudes cannot be trusted. Chris Copeland, I'm sorry, brother. Like I said, I didn't know much about you, but listening to you yesterday just let me know that you are not a man of credibility. You are not a man of honest opinion because I'm sorry. I judge people's basketball knowledge now on where they rank LeBron James. And if you come out of your mouth and say he's the greatest player of basketball or the second greatest, I know that you're a cap out. You're a cap artist. You're probably playing 2K and watching highlights and calling yourself a basketball savant, unfortunately. And somebody out here is listening to you, and you dudes are the ones that's misleading a lot of these fans. Because unfortunately, there are a lot of casual fans that don't understand the game. They can watch it all day. They can download the apps. They can be as dedicated to the game as they want. They need somebody to be the middleman and explain to them what they're watching. I've had that as well. I was just fortunate to grow up in the Stuart Scott era. I was able to have an older brother, two older brothers actually, to sit down and explain to me what was going on and on the basketball court and what was a smart play and not a smart play, and thus so forth and so on. There's so much to learn about basketball that most of these dudes just think it's shooting threes and dunking, and it's way more nuanced to the game than that. But anyway. Former NBA players are supposed to know this stuff if I do. Like I said, Chris Copeland, brother. Shout out to Ticket TV. I will be tagging Big Bro in the video, but Chris Copeland. And in fact, forget Chris. Ticket. Don't have that dude on your TV on your channel no more, man. I'm not sure if he's bringing in views or anything, but if he can't come up there and be a logical basketball fan, especially as a former NBA player, hey, I don't want to hear him. I'll just skip those episodes that you have Chris Copeland on there because I know he's gonna cat for LeBron. I didn't even get to the part where the dude said that the in-season tournament. Chris Copeland said this, y'all. A former NBA player said that the in-season tournament counts as a championship for LeBron James. He said that. I'm gonna get the clip and I'm gonna put that on my shorts, because when I heard him say that, that's what inspired this video. Couldn't believe what I just had heard. But yeah, Chris Copeland, a former NBA player, said that the in-season tournament counts as a championship for LeBron James. And this is why you can't trust all of these former NBA players or former professional players. You can't trust them all. A lot of them are credible, bring some insight to the people. Chris Copeland ain't one of them, y'all. But it's your boy Tony the Savant. Legacy Over Money. Y'all please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content on the channel. I thank y'all for the love and support. You know my slogan, y'all the bosses. I'm the guy that loves to work. Let me get back to work. Peace.